First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Racha HaKodash. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Salutations to the 144,130 elect. You know, coming at you with this lesson off this movie. I just finished watching it. It's kind of long, so I watched it over the course of 2 days. And I finished watching it yesterday, or last night actually. Killers of the Flower Moon. All right, very, very good movie. Starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Robert De Niro, and Lily Gladstone. All right, and it goes into, the Osage Nation. All right, so I'm gonna just read a little bit of this, and also the brother Gabar Yahweh did a video on this a day or two ago. All right, and that's a good video for brothers to watch as well. So it says Killer of the Flower Moon is a 2023 American historical drama film directed and produced by Martin Scorsese. Eric Roth and Scorsese based their screenplay on the 2017 nonfiction book by David Grann. Set in 1920s Oklahoma, it focuses on a series of murders of Osage members and relations in the Osage Nation. After oil was discovered on tribal land, the tribal members had retained mineral rights on their reservation, but a corrupt local political boss sought to steal the tribal members' wealth. All right. And that individual that was a ringleader and kingpin, so to say, was this man here, William King Hill. All right, a true Edomite demon. You can look at his face, you can tell he's a demon. All right, so just read it. I got some scriptures pulled up, but I want to read a little bit about this Edomite. It says William King Hill, December 24th, 1874 through August 15th, 1962, was an American political boss and crime boss in Osage County, Oklahoma, who was a major perpetrator of the Osage Indian murders. So he was the one behind, the Osage Gadites getting put to death, all right, for which he was later convicted. He made a fortune through cattle ranching, contract killings, and insurance fraud. Born in Hunt County, Texas, Hill worked as a cowboy in Texas and Indian Territory before settling in what would become Osage County around 1900. By the 1920s, he had amassed a substantial influence in the county, when he ordered the contract killings of Osage women, Molly Kelly's family, in a criminal conspiracy to gain control over their head rights. All right, he was convicted in federal court for for ordering the murder of Henry Rowan in October 1929, sentenced to life in prison and released on parole in July 1947. He died in Arizona in 1962. All right, so head rights. All right, it says an Osage head right is a type of head right in the United States. There are 2,229 Osage head rights, one for each member of the Osage Nation enrolled in 1906. Osage head rights entitle the owner to a quarterly share of the Osage mineral estate. All right. Let me read a little more. It says his role in the killings is a major focus of David Grann's. All right, we kind of read that already on the other Wikipedia. All right, so early life. It says William Hill was born in Hunt County, Texas on December 24th, 1874. His mother died when he was 3 years old. At the age 16, he began working as a cowboy in West Texas, and by 18 was running a cattle running cattle on the Kiowa Comanche Reservation in Indian Territory. At the turn of the 20th century, he settled in the Osage Nation, then Oklahoma Territory, now Osage County, Oklahoma, and by 1900, his wife had joined him where they lived in a tent and raised cattle. In 1905, he moved to Gray Horse in Osage Town to manage a ranch, and by 1907, he partnered with local bankers to buy his own ranch. Hill was reportedly uneducated but amassed a fortune through insurance fraud and unfair trade with the native Osage people. All right, so Esau is a going to use every opportunity he can to pull a fast one on you, and for the love of money. All right, that's why the scriptures say in First Timothy that for the love of money is the root of all evil. All right, and in this movie, Leonardo DiCaprio's character, says multiple times that he loves money. All right, which his name in the movie, his character in the movie was Ernest. All right, his nephew's name in the movie was Ernest. That's Leonardo DiCaprio's character. All right. It says Tom White, the FBI special agent in charge of investigating Hill, wrote in a 1932 memo to FBI Director J. Edgar Hoover. Eventually, Hill became a millionaire who dominated local politics and seemingly could not be punished for any of his crimes. His method of building up power and prestige was by means of gifts and favors. All right. And the scriptures tell you that a gift destroyeth the heart. All right. So Esau was using these gifts, all right, and favors. When you watch the movie, that he would do for these Gadites to pretty much have them killed. All right, like he mentioned, this man Rowan, where's his name at? Henry Rowan. All right, in the movie, it shows you that this man here, William King Hill, considered Henry Rowan his best friend. All right, which Henry Rowan was a Gadite, but he actually had a life insurance policy taken out on Henry Rowan that he was trying to cash in on upon this dude's death. All right, so it just shows you that this dude, a gift destroyed the heart, because he would take Henry, take him in when he would be drunk and look after him and so on and so forth. But all that was nothing but deceit. Okay, it says he proclaimed himself king of the Osage. All right, which that's very that's a vexation. To me just reading that, that's a vexation. Reading that, because it's like you're an Edomite. All right. Edomite, you're not a king of the Gadites. All right, that's an insult, man. Okay, but that just shows you the pride of Esau, man. Okay, he proclaimed himself king of the Osage, owned a controlling interest, on the Fairfax Bank, and as part interest in the town's general store and funeral home. So this dude had a lock, stock, and barrel, man. Okay, he also served as a reserve deputy sheriff for Fairfax. In addition, he owned a 5,000-acre ranch and leased another 45,000 acres for Osage landowners. So here it is. These Gadites' land was, it's their land. All right. Here it is. They got put on the reservations, but then when oil is found on their reservation, you get an Edomite that comes and is allowed to swindle his way into acquiring hella land, and then now he's leasing it out. All right, that's demonic, man. All right, that pisses me off reading that. All right, Genesis 49:19, it says, "Gad is a troop. Gad a troop shall overcome him, but he shall overcome at the last." All right, because the Gadites are a warrior tribe. Okay, but via Esau, his military, that Gatling gun, alcohol, smallpox, all right, pretty much curses. They fell from that warrior state. Okay, and they've surely been overcome by the devil. All right, but it's prophesied that they're going to get the victory in the end. All right, now, in the movie, it shows you how these Edomite men were marrying the Osage women. All right, you had the Osage men that were marrying Edomite women, and also you had, Edomite men that was marrying the Osage uh, um, women. All right, you had Gadite men marrying Edomite women. All right, Osage men marrying Edomite women, and vice versa. You had Edomite men marrying Osage women. Okay, and they did that to take their wealth. Okay, so this is going into the murders. It says Hale and his nephew Ernest and nephews Ernest and Byron Burkhart conspired to kill several Osage people for their Osage head rights after Ernest married Molly Kyle, a native Osage. It says in May 1921, Hale hired Kelsey Morrison to kill Molly's sister, Anna Brown. Morrison later confessed to the murder, saying Hale had hired him in exchange for forgiving a $600 debt Morrison owed. Half of Anna's head rights were inherited by her mother, Lizzie Q, who died exactly 6 days later. Her other heirs were Molly, Rita Smith, and Grace Bighart. A cousin, Charles Whitehorn, was shot and killed a few weeks later. In March 1922, Anna Sanford died under mysterious circumstances after marrying Tom McCoy. After Sanford's death, McCoy married Hale's niece. All right, so you had a whole bunch of killing going on, and you had individuals that was marrying within the family. Edomites marrying within the family. Okay, this woman to die, and then you'll marry her niece just to keep that wealth, close to them. So that way, when the niece dies and the whole family dies, you get the the head rights. All right, and that's evil, man. All right, that's evil. Okay, which that's why, man. When we see, Israelite women with the Edomite men, those are some of the dumbest women the Lord created. To marry the enemy, individual that don't have no type of love for you. All right, is with Edomites are opportunists. All right, so whenever an Edomite is dealing with an Israelite woman, it's either some fetish, or it's an opportunity. Okay. It says in 1923, George Bighart was taken to Oklahoma City for treatment after drinking poisoned whiskey. Hale and Ernest took Bighart to the hospital, where he asked to see his attorney, William Vaughn. Vaughn was killed on the railroad right of way outside Pawhuska, Oklahoma, the next day after consulting with Bighart. Bighart later died as well. So they was killing off everybody, man. In February 1923, another cousin, Henry Rowan, was found shot dead in his car. Hale held a 25,000 life insurance policy on Rowan. All right, so Hale, the individual who had who pretty much controlled um, that what was the name of that place? Gray Horse. Okay, right here. All right. Um, he pretty much controlled that city. Uh, he had a $25,000 life insurance policy on Rowan. Okay, which that was his best friend though, right? All right. Hill referred to Rowan as a good friend and served as a pallbearer at his funeral. Hill was later convicted for the murder of Rowan. So that man Esau is a demon. He's evil. Here it is. You consider this dude, this native man, your best friend, but you take out a life insurance policy on him. You have him killed, and you are a pallbearer at his funeral. You're the devil, man. Straight devil, man. All right. Um, It says Hale was later convicted for the murder of Rowan. In March 1923, Rita Smith, her husband, and a housekeeper were killed when Smith's home was bombed. Molly inherited Rita's rights. All right, so Molly and Rita were sisters, but this dude Hale had Rita, her husband, and a housekeeper blown up. All right, so those rights went to Molly. All right, which was married to Leonardo DiCaprio's character. Okay, it says Molly later suffered symptoms of poisoning. Molly fell ill; she had a diabetes, but later discovered the poisoning and recovered when she moved away. She divorced Ernest afterward, and the children inherited Molly's estate, which those children are Edomites, because she had children with an Edomite, okay, which was this guy here. All right, and these are the actual pictures. It says fear of killers fills Osage with whispers. All right, it says they're victims. 3 victims of the Osage murder ring above Henry Rowan. So this was Henry. Indian on whose murder the indictment against William K. Hill is based. At right above is Rita Smith. This is the sister that got her house blew up. Indian who was mysteriously killed, and below Henry Vaughn. Yeah. Henry Vaughn. White lawyer who was killed because he knew too much about the murder of certain Indians. All right, so like this is the lawyer that was killed. All right, so 2 Gadites and a Edomite that got killed. But just showing, I read this to show that, the evil that was going on and why you can't trust Esau. Okay. It says Hale's full plan is suspected to have involved the unrealized murders of Molly, Ernest, and their children, leaving the Kyle Burkhart estate solely to Hal. All right, or Hale. All right, now let me get this here in Numbers 1 and 18. It says, and they assembled the congregation together on the first day of the second month, and they declared their pedigrees after their families by the house of their fathers, according to the number of the names, from 20 years old and upward, by their polls. Okay, so you declare your pedigrees after after their families by the house of their fathers. So let me see what this says in real quick. NIV. It says, and they called the whole community together on the first day of the second month. The people registered their ancestry by their clans and families, and the men 20 years old or more were listed by name one by one. Let me see. ESV, it says, and on the first day of the second month, they assembled the whole congregation together, who registered themselves by clans, by fathers' houses, according to the number of the names from 20 years old and upward, head by head. You know, that it's better in the KJV. Sounds better. It's worded better. Oh, but you are what your father is. I read that because you are what your father is according to the scriptures. All right. Um, Once again, 1 and 20, Numbers 1 and 20. And the children of Reuben, Israel's eldest son, by their generations after their families, by the house of their fathers, according to the number of their names, by their polls, every male from 20 years old and upward, all that were able to go to war. All right. So once again, you are what your father is. So these Osage women that were sleeping with and giving and having children by these Edomite men were pretty much uh, taking away numbers from their people. Okay, because once again, the head rights, right? It was only 2,229 Osage head rights. Okay, that was how many Osage were enrolled in 1906. So if it, to sleep with an Edomite and have children with an Edomite, well, that's your nation not being forwarded. Okay, because unbeknownst to them, those children are devils. All right, but that just shows you the simplicity of our people. Because these, Israelite women, man, especially Native American women, they fall in love with Edomites, man. You know, uh, yeah, they fall in love with Edomites, and here it is, they're just using them for their wealth. All right. Um, Deuteronomy 7:1, it says, "When the Lord thy power shall bring thee into the land whither thou goest to possess it, and hath cast out many nations before thee, the Hittites and the Girgashites and the Amorites and the Canaanites and the Perizzites and the Hivites and the Jebusites, 7 nations greater and mightier than thou. And when Yahweh thy power shall deliver them before thee, thou shalt smite them and utterly destroy them. Thou shalt not make covenant with them, nor show mercy unto them. Neither shalt thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, and his daughter shalt thou not take unto thy son." Okay, so in the case of us receiving the promised land when we came out of Egypt, the Lord didn't want us dealing with the inhabitants of the Holy Land. All right, which were those nations that were mentioned, those Hamitic nations that was mentioned. And one thing that the Lord wanted us to do was refrain from letting their sons marry our daughters, and our daughters, our sons marry their daughters. Okay, because those people were to be completely, cast out the land and killed. Okay. Now, there's nothing wrong with a Israelite man dealing with a woman of another nation, because if seed comes about, or if a child comes about, that child's gonna be an Israelite because of the man. All right, the woman can be a heathen all she want to be, a woman of another nation. The seed of the man is what's important. Okay, but in this case, the Lord didn't want us dealing with those people that was in that land, period. All right. It says, for they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. So will the anger of Yahweh be kindled against you and destroy thee suddenly. Okay. So when you watch this movie, you see how they those Osage, a lot of them were Catholics, all right, and that's most likely because of boarding schools. You know, getting it tells you that Molly, all right, one of the characters in the you know, this woman, no, that's not her. It's like it tells you that Molly, this woman here, she was she knew both the Osage language and English, but she was rendered incompetent. She was rendered incompetent, so she pretty much didn't have control over those head rights. All right. Let me see. Let me read a little of this. It says Molly Cobb was born on December 1st, 1886 in the Osage Nation Indian Territory, now Osage County, Oklahoma, to James Cuss Kyle and Lizzie Q. Kyle. She grew up in Gray Horse and was forced to attend Catholic school in Pawhuska. What I tell you, she was forced to attend Catholic school, a boarding school. She was Catholic and spoke both English and Osage. By the 1900s, Molly was wealthy from her Osage head right, but deemed incompetent due to federal laws regulating Native Americans, requiring her to have an appointed legal guardian. Can you believe that shit? Man, Esau ain't gonna own shit in the kingdom of heaven. Esau is not gonna own a motherfucking thing, man. All right. That's why it's good to get into to history, because it'll piss you off, man. It'll make you want to, you know what I'm saying? It'll make you want to get payback, man. All right. But that's why you got to be patient. We're patiently waiting for salvation, so that way we can become battle axes and weapons of war, man. All right, back here in Deuteronomy 7:4, it says, "For they will turn away thy son from following me." All right, so marrying these intermarriages with these Hamitic nations that was in the land of Israel. The Lord didn't want that to happen, because it's going to have your son not follow the Heavenly Father. And you got to remember, we just came out of captivity, and the Lord is just he's cleaning us up, you know. So it'll be easy, you know. Jake is hard headed. It'll get easy to get sidetracked and follow some deities and some idols. Okay, because you hot on a woman, and vice versa. All right, a heathen woman or a heathen man being hot for an Israelite woman. All right, it says, so will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you, and destroy thee suddenly. But thus shall ye deal with them: ye shall destroy their altars, and break down their images, and cut down their groves, and burn their graven images with fire. For thou art an holy people unto Yahweh thy power. Yahweh thy power hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. Okay, so we're the greatest people on the planet Earth. We're above these heathen. All right, so in the case of them Hamites, we wasn't supposed to be dealing with them. All right, and today, hey, that's true for the Edomites. All right. Pertaining to the women, the Israelite woman is not supposed to be marrying these damn Edomite devils, man. Okay. Now, Israelite man can have an Edomite concubine or a concubine of the other nations, but the women, period, the Israelite women, period, is only supposed to deal with Israelite men. All right, to keep that the bloodline going. This is Judges 3:1. It says idolatry leads to servitude. It says, now these are the nations which Yahweh left to prove Israel by them, even as many of Israel as had not known all the wars of Canaan. All right. So when we came out of ancient Egypt, there was a lot of wars that went on. Getting into the land of Israel was, we went to war, man. All right. Read the book of here in Judges. You can read Joshua. All right, the book of Joshua. There was a lot of wars that went on. Okay, but after a certain period of time, things kind of settled down. But as I said, the Lord, He wanted to prove Israel. Okay, it says only the generations of the children of Israel, only that the generations of the children of Israel might know to teach them war, at the least such as before knew nothing thereof, namely 5 lords of the Philistines and all the Canaanites and the Zidonians and the Hivites that dwelt in Mount Lebanon, from Mount Baal Hermon unto the entering of Hamath. It says, and they were to prove Israel by them, to know whether they would hearken unto the commandments of Yahweh, which He commanded their fathers by the hand of Moses. And the children of Israel dwelt among the Canaanites, Hittites, and the Amorites, and the Perizzites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, and they took their daughters to be their wives, and gave their daughters to their sons, and served their gods. All right. So literally, what the Lord said in Deuteronomy: don't be dealing with these heathens in this land. You're supposed to kill them all and burn up their shit. Decades later, years later, all right, during the time of the Book of Judges, we find that Jake didn't do that. They actually had their sons marrying their daughters, and their daughters was getting married to the heathen sons, and that was causing them to serve the gods of those heathens. All right. It says, and the children of Israel did evil in the sight of Yahweh, and forgot Yahweh their power, and served Balaam and the groves. Therefore the anger of Yahweh was hot against Israel, and He sold them into the hand of Cusharish Athaim, king of Mesopotamia, and the children of Israel served Kisharish Hamathaim, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, 8 years. All right, so when you got the children of Israel disobeying the Heavenly Father, that pisses them off, and so therefore we went into captivity. All right, Israel went into captivity. Now, how you think the Lord felt about these Gadite women, marrying these heathens, the devil at that, man. All right, the Lord was not pleased. John 10:10. That's why they was getting fucked up. That's why Gad was getting jacked up like that, man. John 10:10. It says, "A thief cometh not before to steal and to kill and to destroy. I am come that they might have life, and that they might have it more abundantly." All right, which this was talking about, as it says, a parable of the good shepherd, because you got hirelings out there. you know, and if they ain't preaching the true doctrine, you know, there it's gonna serve the purpose of destruction. Okay, but Yahweh Shai is a true shepherd. Okay, but you know, Esau, his agenda is to steal, kill, and destroy. All right, so the only reason why, you know, these marriages was happening amongst these natives, all right, these Gadites and these Edomites was so Esau could steal, kill, and destroy. Look at it. Important figures of Osage murder case. All right, Molly Burkhart, Billy, which was the dude William Hill. You know, you see money, income, $135,000 per year. That's a lot of money. $135,000. That's a lot of money now, man. Okay. So these motherfuckers, these Edomites wanted that money, man. They wanted that money. All right. Sirach 12:10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. All right. Never trust Esau, man. Okay. You can't trust no Edomite. All right. You cannot trust the Edomite. That's the devil. All right. Matter of fact, look at this nigga, man. You can't trust this guy. All right, you got Israelite women. This Edomite come up to an Israelite woman talking about he love her and she gonna believe that shit. Look at this. You can see there ain't no love there, man. You can see that this is strictly business. All right, he was shooting her up with tainted insulin that was killing her. Man, this is crazy, man. Should have pissed you off. All right, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And though and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hadst wiped the looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away. All right, Esau is going to be the same devil he was created to be. All right, set him not by thee, lest when he hath overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat, and thou at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith. This scripture right here, boy, this fits this situation to the T, man. To the T. All right, he gonna sit up and in your place. All right, where's that at, man? Hold on, let me see something. Bear with me. So like it. Where was that at? He said he was king of the Osage. God damn it. Yeah, here we go. He proclaimed himself king of the Osage. You're not even Osage. All right, talking about this demon William. He's an Edomite. All right, but he's on tribal land, calling himself king of the Osage. You're the king of these people. Man, the audacity of Esau, man. Man, shit, man. Once again, set him not by thee, lest when he hath overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat, and thou at the last remember my words and be pricked therewith. And there's a scene in the movie where the Gadites, the natives, are in a teepee having counsel, about what they're gonna do pertaining to the murders. And they decided that, okay, we need to go to Washington D.C. We need to shed light to what's going on, because the locals ain't helping, the local police ain't helping, the state's not helping. And so while they're having this council amongst the Osage, you got these Edomites sprinkled all around, including this fucking demon. He's in the council giving his opinion. Oh yeah, we should do this, we should do that. But he's giving his counsel because he's going to start knocking more people off. That's anybody with information that could possibly lead to him being discovered, he's going to knock them off, man. So all the plans that the Gadites had, this dude was privy to them because he was right there rubbing elbows with him. All right. And that's what his agenda, his plan was to, take the place of the Osage, man. All right, take the wealth. All right. It says, who will pity a charmer that is bitten with the serpent, or any such as come nigh a wild beast? All right, and this is a serpent, a wild beast. So these Gadites, all right, after they got bitten, and hey, y'all should have known better, man. Should have known better. Here it is, these damn demons came and slaughtered your whole family. All right, y'all numbers ain't as strong as they was because this same motherfucker y'all marrying, his forefathers slaughtered y'all, and y'all think something's different because of this month. They want to give you some oil money. Stupidity. Our people are stupid. Stupid. I sound like a Gadite when I said that. Our people are stupid. All right, the stupidity of our people, man. It says, so one that goeth to a sinner and is defiled with him and his sins, who will pity. All right, let me see. Man, I can keep going. It says an enemy. All right. All right. It says, for a while he will abide with thee, but if thou begin to fall, he will not tarry. An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. Man. This nigga here, boy. Hold on. Let me go back to it, man. Let me go back to it. In February 1923, another cousin, Henry Rowan, was found shot dead in his car. Held a $25,000 life insurance policy on Rowan. Hale referred to Rowan as a good friend and served as a pallbearer at his funeral. Hale was later convicted for the murder of Rowan. Let's read this one more time. An enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips. Oh, he's a good friend. But in his heart, he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit. Yep, he had him set up and shot in the back of his head in his own car. He hired an Edomite to get him drunk, and then shot him in the back of the head in his own car. Okay, he will weep with his eyes. All right, He was a pallbearer at Rowan's funeral. He's my good friend. I gotta be the pallbearer. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. All right. Uh, if adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first. All right. This dude, Rowan, in the movie, it tells you that he was melancholy. All right. He was depressed, and he used to love to drink. Um, and he had tried to commit suicide a couple times. All right. So that's you're in a state of adversity. Uh, if you trying to go back to the spirit world at your own hands, all right, and you got a lot of ghetto. Matter of fact, they said that Native American suicide is the highest in the country. Okay. Um, it says, and though he pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine thee, and that's all that dude William Hill did. It says he will shake his head and clap his hands and whisper much and change his countenance. All right, man, this scripture right here, man, this chapter, boy, fits this fucking demon to a T. All right. All right, now this is from Korah. And this is from whatever this dude's name is. I think he's the actual what the fuck is a Indian, but he's a East Indian. He's a Elamite, Salakia. But so it says, what is the history of $5 Indians and the original Native American, So, you got a lot of this that was going on, where you had Edomites, claiming to be, claiming to be Native Americans, and then even they had 3 kids, if I'm not mistaken. So those children were Edomites, but they were registered as Native Americans, but they're really Edomites. Okay. So it says the term $5 Indians refers to a historical phenomenon where individuals falsely claim Native American ancestry to gain government benefits. This practice became more prevalent in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. The name suggests that people were willing to pay a small fee, often exaggerated as $5, to obtain a fraudulent Native American identity for the purpose of receiving government assistance and land allotments. So Esau was getting over on the system. All right. Just like they do now. It's nothing different now. Okay. Here's a brief overview of the historical context. Dawes Act of 1887. The Dawes Act, also known as the General Allotment Act, was passed in 1887 with the goal of assimilating Native Americans into mainstream American society. The act aimed to break up tribal land holdings and allocate individual plots of land to Native Americans. So think about that, man. The act aimed to break up tribal land holdings. So here it is. Tribal land holdings is pretty much reservations, right? This whole country was theirs, belonged to Gad, all right, and Reuben and Issachar. But we're gonna take the whole land from you, all right. We're gonna go to war with you. We're gonna take the whole land, but we're gonna allocate certain parts of the land to you. We're going to give you certain parts, and we're going to call it reservations. But then on top of that, there's minerals here. These reservations that we thought was dumps actually got oil and minerals and gold and things of that nature. So you know what? We need to break it up. So we're gonna give you we gonna go to the spots where we can find resources. All right, and we gonna take that and then move you somewhere else on the reservation. All right, that's just evil, man. Okay, it says allotment and blood quantum. It says to determine eligibility for the land. For land allotments, a concept called blood quantum was introduced, which measured the degree of Native American ancestry an individual possessed. This concept became a basis for determining who qualified as a real Native American. Fraudulent claims. In response to the Draws Act and the desire to obtain land and benefits, some individuals, often of European descent, falsely claimed Native American ancestry. They would pay a nominal fee to obtain a certificate of degree of Indian blood based on fabricated or minimal genealogical evidence. So they was lying, okay? Because once again, that's why I read this here in Numbers. They declared their pedigrees after their families, okay, by the house of their fathers, okay? Let me see. Let's do this. So let's look this word pedigree up. Pedigree, genealogical table or chart. Pedigree, okay, foot of a crane, foot. Let me see. Because when you think about it, a foot is a foundation. All right, and the foundation starts with your father's lineage, your father's line. Descent, okay, and on old manuscripts, descent was indicated by blah blah blah. Let's see. All right, so okay, ancestral line. Okay, meaning ancestral line is mid 15th century. It says of animals. All right, but it was used in the scriptures. So matter of fact. Pedigree, the record of descent of an animal showing it is to be purebred. Okay. Late Middle English, the origin. Crane foot. All right, the background or history of a person or thing, especially a conferring distinction or quality. Genealogical table. The record ancestry, especially upper class ancestry of a person or family. It says upper class. Are we not a royal people? We just read in Deuteronomy that we're above all these other nations. Okay, that's why our lineage is so important. Okay. So issued continue. Let me see. Impacts. It says the fraudulent claims led to the enrollment of individuals with little or no genuine Native American ancestry. Diluted the resources and benefits intended for legitimate Native American communities. All right, so imagine how polluted it is now. We go to powwows all the time. Well, not all the time, but before COVID, we used to go to powwows quite often up here in the Northwest, and you see some people just like, man, I don't know about that one. You know, some stone cold Edomite looking so-called Native Americans. Matter of fact, there's this one guy. There's one guy that we had ran into at a powwow, claiming to be a native, and then come to find out, this dude's a damn Japhite. All right, his pops is a Polynesian, and his mom is a Gadite. And when I met the dude, I was like, man, I don't know, man. He looked like a Gadite, but his spirit, I was like, man, I don't know if he a Gadite. I was like, all right, okay, he native. But just his spirit, though, I was like, man, that shit's kind of dead. Israel, we got lively spirits. Even Jake, when Jake is calm and reserved and laid back, it's still a lively spirit. But this dude, I was like, man, this dude, because there was a job I had been working at where I worked around a lot of Japhites, and I was like, man, Japheth got that dead ass dismal spirit, that dismal look, them bugged out, uh, that bugged out looked in their eyes. Them Polynesians, just that you can, and because you got to remember they don't come from Shem, all right. Japhites come from, Japhet, all right. So it's just that in itself is like when you look in their eyes, it's like, okay, that's a Japhetic spirit. It's not a Shemite spirit. All right. Same thing with Hamites. They got a Hamitic spirit. Like when you look in their eyes, like so Hamites got a certain look in their eyes. Japheth got a certain look in their eyes. Shem got a certain look in their eyes. All right, and then it funnels down to Israel. Us being the creme de la creme. But so he always kind of reminded me like he had that Japhite kind of just dead dismal. And turns out this dude's a damn Japhite, man. Okay, so I said all that to say, with the benefits intended for legitimate Native Americans and communities, with it being polluted back then, it's polluted now. Okay, it says continued issues. The legacy of fraudulent claims and questionable enrollment practices continues to affect Native American communities. Some individuals and families may still inaccurately claim Native American ancestry without proper documentation. That's going on, man. The brother Tawab in the camp, Tawab Osh, he grew up in the native. He's not Gad himself or Reuben. He's Judah, but he grew up in that Native American circle. And he tells us stories about about the $5 Indian stuff. So it's real, man. It's real. It says it's important to note that the term $5 Indians is somewhat of a misnomer, as the fee was not always $5 and the practice was not limited to a specific amount. The term is symbolic of the fraudulent actions taken by some individuals during a historical period marked by policies aimed at assimilating Native Americans into mainstream American society. All right. And lastly, Micah 2:1, it says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. All right. And this dude, he thought he was the king of the Osage. You fucking demon, you going into slavery. He in the spirit world now. All right. He died in what, 62? All right. So he's most likely in the spirit world now, getting ready to come back and be a slave to Rowan, to Henry Rowan. Henry Rowan gonna fuck you up in the kingdom, William. All right. verse 2, it says, "And they covered fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage." So these these Gadites, they had their customs, their houses, all right, stripped from them, and they was oppressed. Okay, here it is. We take your whole continent. All right, the whole Western Hemisphere. We're gonna take that from you, put you on reservations. All right, that land over there. Don't nobody want that land. We worried about this over here, so we're gonna put them over there. And then when they find out, oh, these motherfuckers got oil, they got gold, they got minerals, they got, oh no, we need that back. So just put them on the worst of that land, and we're gonna take the rest. Like, man, Esau got a lot to pay for, man. But this is a very good movie. I suggest brothers peep this. This movie is very, very good. It'll give you another reason to hate Esau. And but Lord willing, this video has been an edifying lesson. Until next time, shalom.